So, you're going to learn in 60 seconds or less, maybe a little more, how to value commercial real estate. So typically we use what's called a cap rate, okay? Cap. They spelled that wrong. Cap rate. All a cap rate is net operating income minus market value, okay? So what is the property worth minus the purchase price or market value? So net operating income divided by purchase price or market value. What do you need to know? You need to know the gross income and the operating expense. So we're going to make it up. If my friend Jesse just drove by a building here, like how much is that building worth? So I said, they use a cap rate. Let's figure it out. So you have to assume rental income unless you know it, right? So we said, let's assume this building gets $5,000 in rental income per unit. They had 4 units. So times 4, that's gotta be $20,000 a month. Then we're gonna times by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. That's $240. $240 is gonna represent our gross rental income. We'll call it GRI. Then we have to know expenses. I'm gonna assume the expense on this building is like, let's say 20% or something. Because we have to pick a number. Usually it's starting to 40%. This was a commercial building, so the expense is gonna be lower. So 240 on that, I know the math on that is, so 20%, we're gonna mess this up. But let's just assume the expense on it is, $40,000, say. It's not exactly 20%, it's less. So that means your net operating income is $200,000, okay? If you take that $200,000 and you divide it by a purchase price of $2 million, then this building, the 10 cap, would be 10%, which is unrealistic in our area. You're not going to get a 10 cap unless it's a building that needs a lot of fix-up or it's in a horrible area. So the higher the cap, the more work it needs, or maybe the worse location. A more stable asset and more stable neighborhood will have a lower cap. In our area, you're going to see something a lot closer to 5 to 7. So roughly, now we could play with the numbers and figure out what that building is worth, which is probably going to be like $2.5 million, or maybe more, maybe like $3 million, because it might be like a half cap. Hopefully you follow this video. If you do, leave me a comment. If you don't leave me a comment, but you should share it anyways.